Hey, it's Colleen.
Hi, it's Kate.
And it's Megan.
And we're the
Three Scheme Queens.
Each Tuesday, we take you on a deep dive into one of our favorite conspiracy theories.
If you have a sense of humor and an open mind, come take this journey with us.
We'll tell you what we think, and we'll try to prove it to you. Is this thing on?
Hey, guys.
Hi, friends.
Welcome back
To the podcast.
Just two Scheme Queens.
1, 2.
Where's Kate today?
Kate is at an art museum.
Who is she? Is she trying to get to the bottom of art heists?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's very appropriate for what's happening this week. So can't wait to hear what she has to say about that.
Want her opinions on modern art.
Yeah. Something tells me if we asked for opinions on modern art, though, you would probably have the most to say.
Yeah, I love going to art museums.
Yeah, she just told me. She just said, let's compare our schedules next week, but Thursday's off because I have to go to an art
I'm
museum.
going to an art museum. And I'm so excited to go to this one because I tried to go to it a year ago and then I had to cancel last minute. Because you have to buy it's free, but you have to like reserve the tickets like a month in advance.
Where are you going?
Glenstone. It's like a sculpture / art museum, but it's mostly outside. So you walk through it. I'm so excited.
Okay. Well, is it time for our
Drink check.
Today we're having more coffee.
Coffee.
Last week we had some compass.
Mm-hmm.
This week
Your mother.
we're actually having a little brunch.
Yeah,
So
it's a good brunch.
we got some brunch from Call Your Mother, and a local bagel chain. Although I think I saw they have some like in Colorado as well.
Yeah, they're growing.
What are you having over there?
I had just a vanilla latte.
Iced, of course.
Iced, obviously. Well, sometimes I like a hot latte. But see, when I'm drinking drinks, it has to be extremely hot or extremely cold. And I just feel like it's easier to get your drinks cold than it is to keep it hot.
Okay.
So I don't like to order a hot drink in advance. I like to order a cold drink. So I got an iced vanilla latte.
How would this compare to Compass and Starbucks?
Better than Starbucks. I think I like Compass's flavor.
Oh, okay.
Like the what did I get?
Like the green lavender.
Oh, yeah. I
Or
forgot about that.
I'm having a dirty chai.
Which was spicy.
Delicious. Next week we'll get adventurous with our drink checks again because it's going to be our birthday.
Happy birthday.
So we're going to need a little celebratory drink check for that. Maybe some champagne.
Yeah.
Kate doesn't like champagne.
Oh, I love champagne.
I feel like we spent about 10 minutes last week talking about Starbucks versus Compass. So this week we're not going to dilly-dally.
I thought that was funny.
Well, how about we just get into it? Yeah.
Should we sneak our way in?
Ooh.
This week we're going to take a tour through the Louvre.
The Louvre. This is a current event, guys.
I'm so excited for this because I've been following this on Twitter and TikTok. Boy, I've got opinions.
Okay. So last month, the Louvre Museum's Apollo Gallery was the target of a brazen heist, with 4 men fleeing with 8 pieces of French crown jewels valued at over $100 million or 88 million euro. Disguised as construction workers and using a truck-mounted lift, 2 of the suspects accessed a first-floor window, cut into display cases, and fled via motorbikes with their loot. The heist immediately generated a search for the jewels and suspects, as well as a plethora of other questions. How do the thieves know exactly which window was weak, which display cases to target, and how to orchestrate a clean, rapid escape? Was this an opportunistic crime or a deliberately orchestrated inside job? Questions also circulated surrounding the lack of surveillance and intrusion protocols despite previous security audits and known vulnerabilities. With key items still missing and suspects only partially cooperating, theories abound. Were the 4 thieves part of a larger network, and what was the motive? Could this have been a commissioned theft for a private collector, or were the pieces dismantled, recut, and resold with assistance of an underground network? Today we'll discuss what we know about the Louvre heist, focusing on the possibilities of a larger conspiracy.
Megan, they didn't just run away on motorbikes. It was segways.
They weren't Segways.
Yes, it was.
No, they were the exact brand and everything.
No, everybody online said it was Segways
Like,
or scooters.
I'm sorry. Well, like scooter, but you're picturing them on like the little two-wheelie,
Yeah.
like tour DC Segways.
Yeah,
No, it was I'm gonna pull a picture for you.
that's half the reason why I was excited.
Well,
for this.
I hate to break it to you. They're like on motorcycle type bikes.
Are you kidding me?
I'll pull up the picture for
Did
you.
they
when we
pull
get
up
to it.
on Segways then?
Girl, this is what happens when you get all your news from TikTok.
But why? Where did everybody get the Segway bit? I know they were constructed.
Are you sure they weren't just saying scooters and your mind was going to Segways?
Maybe that's what was happening.
You just picture these guys with these crown jewels. They're like going like 10 miles an hour in a Segway.
Dressed as construction men.
Oh my goodness.
Because they came in construction outfits.
Well, what are your theory before we talk about it, just from your TikTok viewing then?
I'm picturing this like the best movie I've ever watched. And it's like National Treasure where they have somebody that's got
No, I'm sorry. When I was researching this, I was like, Colleen's gonna have a reference to like,
I feel like there's an alpha that planned everything.
yeah,
And these are just the young guys that are able to do it.
I think so too. Do you think that they are
Like
holding?
with Nicolas Cage.
Do you think that they're holding on to the crown? Well, I don't know if it's a Nicolas Cage.
No, they're breaking apart. They're milking it for every penny they can get.
I kind of feel differently. I think there might be. I don't think it's a Nicolas Cage because I think Nicolas Cage is in it with the people.
Yeah.
I think there is someone who is not one of the four people present who's behind all of this, who's
Yeah.
the mastermind.
Okay.
Okay. Whereas again, Nicolas Cage was
Evil guy that Nicolas Cage is.
yeah, maybe like that guy.
Okay.
Who's like, I've got money and I'm paying all these underlings to
Who was British.
do the work.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because I want to believe this and it makes it more exciting, but I think that it's like some collector down there who has these jewels and is like, it's sort of like an ego thing, right? Like I have these, no one else can know I have them, but I have them. And
Oh.
maybe when his other rich friends come over, he shows them off.
Do you think they were purposely stealing one item and then just grabbed a bunch of other stuff? Or do you think they purposely picked every item that they stole?
Well,
Or is there
well, you know what?
You get into
Purposely,
that.
but to a degree. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, so off the bat though, we have
disappointed? in
kind of
Segways?
different theories, and you're already let down because there are no segues.
Wait, are you gonna talk about the hot detective?
Oh, Colleen, that's so embarrassing for you.
What?
You're talking about the one that was going viral, the guy who's dressed
Yeah.
like in the fedora.
Well, I really like the cop behind him, but yeah,
Yeah. So this guy just came forward earlier this week.
that's not the.
He's a 15-year-old kid.
No, he's not.
Everyone has been swooning over a 15-year-old kid.
Well, why does he look like the detective?
He said he just got really into like in the last year or so dressing like that, and that's what he
Is
does.
he volunteer with the police?
No, he is in no way associated with the police. He was just walking down the street and someone took his picture. And I said when he was popping up, he just kind of stayed quiet because he was like, I want to see what happens here.
That's actually
But he's
hysterical.
since come forward.
The cop behind him, though,
Mm-hmm.
he could get it.
Okay, good. Oh, God, everyone needs to stop talking about the good looking
He's 15.
detective in the fedora because he's a 15-year-old kid.
Crazy.
Okay. Also, obviously, since this is breaking news, like this episode is being recorded,
In advance.
yeah, like 1 week prior to release. So by the time it comes out, there may be some other breaking news. But I did a quick Google last night to make sure there was no new updates.
Yeah.
And so as far as I know at the time of recording, this is all the most up-to-date information.
This is one mystery that I hope it never goes solved. I want the art criminals to go free forever.
You know, people kind of feel like it's like
It's like Robin Hood.
exactly
Right.
because it's technically like I would say harmless, but like no people were harmed.
Yeah.
And like really who should own
And
these
so-
jewels?
To be able to say that you stole the crown jewels,
Well, I think
it's kind of sick.
also what I learned is that well, we're just going to get into this.
They'll
I think
never be
that they got a lot of credit for being like really genius and really
And you don't think it was
it was not all that genius in my mind. I mean, like I don't know. Let's talk about it.
okay.
So the Louvre Museum in Paris is a national art museum that is the most visited museum in the world. It houses works such as the Mona Lisa and the Venus de Milo, and it is housed in a building that was initially a medieval fortress built before 1200,
Oh.
and then it was eventually converted to a residence for French kings in 1546. In 1682, Louis XIV chose to live in the Palace of Versailles, and the Louvre was used instead to house the royal collection. It was opened to the public in 1793 and today houses 500,000 objects and 35,000 works of art. There is some controversy around the fact that some of these works were acquired via the Nazi looting and Napoleon's campaigns. So I think we're going to get into that. We've definitely talked a lot about the Nazi gold.
Yeah.
Uh,
Everybody makes fun of me for it.
well, but they shouldn't because
It's legit real.
it's real.
I guess the proper name should be the Nazis' stolen gold.
Everything. Well, it's like
Yeah.
stolen art, stolen gold, stolen money, stolen.
But they stole it.
Yeah. There was the episode, the like fall season finale of High Potential. The storyline was actually about a art heist, and one of
Predicted
the
it.
potential motives is that this Rembrandt was initially stolen from a Jewish girl. Like the Nazis stole it from her as a child, and then now it's like, who really owns it? I'm like, man, this is taken this week's episode. This is taken the Nazi gold, all in this one TV episode. But it was also like the fall season finale. And it ended on a cliffhanger. So I got to wait now, see how it ends.
Hate cliffhangers.
The Louvre is 652,000 square feet.
Damn.
And it is, in 2024, it received 8.7 million visitors.
Wow.
Actually, I heard visitation is up this month since this
Well,
theft. So
well, is that a conspiracy? That they like had an art heist to then boost morale?
well, let's hold that for our discussion.
my
But that
God.
wasn't even one of my ideas, but maybe. There's also this interesting like Freemason association, just because that's what we talk about. That the Louvre, like the glass pyramid that's in front of the Louvre that's famous.
Is that part of the museum?
It is. It was designed by I.M. Pei in 1989.
89, really?
1989. People started to theorize that it was like a symbol of the Freemasons, because there were allegedly 666 glass panes, which is not true. It's actually 673.
Right. Did you count them?
No, someone else has counted them. And we know, the Freemasons are like the pyramids and geometry and symmetry. And so this like pyramid is sort of inherently gives this like Masonic vibe, but no evidence that it's in any way related to Freemasons. So talking about the heist, it all started at 9 a.m. It was a Sunday. The main entrance opened. So like people by this iconic glass pyramid are entering the museum. On the southeast side, which is not visible from the main entrance and nearly 600 feet away, a truck pulled up with 4 men. The stolen mover's truck was parked, and the 4 men placed traffic cones around the vehicle to fool onlookers into thinking they were doing authorized repairs. Unfortunately, the only camera monitoring that area was pointed away from the truck.
Oh my God,
So-
they had an inside person.
That's one of the theories. So we have like cell phone video that people have taken, but there is no like security footage of
People
this.
film everything. We have videos of this.
Yeah, girl.
It's crazy.
So the truck had like one of those electric ladders, which was raised, and it led to a balcony with a double window. And so, Europe, it's like ground floor, first floor. So this thing went up to the first floor, but it was really like 2 stories high and rather large ceilings
Okay.
on the outside. So at 9:30 a.m., two of the 4 men used the ladder to access this balcony that's about 2 stories up.
They're dressed as construction workers.
The 2 men are wearing reflective yellow and orange vests to disguise themselves as construction workers, and their faces were concealed. The windows, which authorities have since admitted are not reinforced, were broken using motorized angle grinders. At this point, an alarm was tripped notifying security that something was wrong. So now it's 9:34 a.m. It took them 4 minutes to pull up, get out, get up onto this balcony, and break into the window.
Oh my God.
At 9:34 a.m., the masked thieves entered the museum, where they encountered unarmed guards
Through the window.
through this window they just cut into.
Okay.
They threatened them with their tools, and the guards fled. So they come in. There are guards in this room that see him. They all flee, and they like try to lock them into the room.
Okay.
And so we are in the Gallery of Apollo. So this was a lavish hall that houses over a century of French crown jewels. The jewels are kept in metal cabinets, and there are CCTV images. Like we have images of the men using angle grinders to force open the display cases. They forced their way into 2 cases in under 4 minutes. It's like 3 minutes and 57 seconds.
Are these glass cases?
They're glass and metal.
Okay.
They grabbed the jewels and fled.
My God.
So in total, they took 8 items. They took a tiara, a necklace, and a pair of earrings worn by Queen Hortense and Queen Marie Amélie, which were 2 French queens from the 1800s. They took an emerald necklace and earrings given as a wedding gift by Napoleon I to his second wife, Marie Louise. A pearl and diamond tiara and diamond brooch of Empress Eugenie, who was the wife of Napoleon II, and a brooch known as the reliquary brooch belonging to Empress Eugenie. They also attempted to steal the Eugenie crown, which was probably the most valuable item in the hall, H-A-U-L hall, not the hall, with more than 1,300 diamonds. But they appear to have dropped it when they fled, and it was found damaged along the escape route, which we'll talk about.
Oh my God, who found it?
This is a security guard.
Oh,
And
I
he
would've
said
kept my mouth shut.
He said initially, well, it was damaged because they think when they tried to remove it, the hole that they tried to remove it from, the case wasn't large enough. So it kind of like crushed on
Oh
itself.
my God.
And then it got dropped. And so this guy said, the security guard that was interviewed for like ABC was like, yeah, I just looked over. It was like actually really small and something was shiny. And there's like diamonds littered. It was like in like a
Oh
gutter
my
type situation.
God.
So the museum director does believe that delicate restoration is possible.
I would have, if I was a security guard,
Yeah, but then what would you do with it? Do you know people in the black
I
market?
would have found people.
I think we're going to talk about is that if you're going to do this, you have to already have a plan on how you can't just like, I'm going to go put this
I
crown.
would have kept one diamond.
Okay.
I totally would have kept one. And then it would be like my family mystery. Like it would be the diamond like Grammy Colleen has that got passed down.
By 9:35 a.m., word was spreading. Like you said, they've kind of created the scene. I just picture a bunch of these old like docents. I feel like it's not,
The ones who tell you no touch.
yeah, I just feel like it's not like
I could take that Grammy down.
high
Yeah.
level of security. It's not police off-duty police officers or anything like that.
It's either little old ladies or it's like high school interns
Yeah.
that are history majors.
So they said an alarm did sound in the control room, but they weren't sure if it was heard. It wasn't sure if it was working, but things just seem to be moving. I mean, I say very slowly. Again, this all happened in a matter of minutes, but it sounds like they're like, something's going on. We're spreading the word. I don't know if they're on their walkie-talkies or whatever. And then at 9:38, the two thieves flee
The way they
came. There's a video of them. Well, it's because everyone's like, it's like all this happened so quickly. And then this is them leaving and it's like just like so slow.
Oh my God. I was reading some tweet that was like, can you imagine the anxiety of the ladder ride down?
Yeah, you're like, we've been racing, and now we're just like,
And then they just hop on scooters and leave.
look how eager they look. Like they're just like,
That's crazy. Well, let me ask this brief question. Do you have info on the stolen construction vehicle?
a little bit. What's your question?
Like, how long had it been reported? Was it reported stolen?
It was reported stolen.
How long in advance was it reported stolen?
It was a model from Bacher, and this manufacturer, I think I read, actually had like done a whole social media. Like after this happened, they were like, look at how quiet and fast we were.
I
Like,
would have totally milked that.
yeah, so like leaning into like their this Louvre robbery was all thanks to our
The machine that made
Yes.
like their chainsaws gonna
Yeah.
be like, look at how quick we broke through them.
yeah. So the manufacturer had sold this lift years earlier to a French rental company. The rental company said that the thieves posed as clients and asked to like demo the lift on October 15th.
So they've had it for a while.
So they had it for a couple days, yeah. And they didn't return it. So again, they did not rent it.
No record of it.
No. Also, again, though, I'm like, if you're gonna let the guy demo it, take his freaking license.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Is that just not a thing?
Also, even though we know, okay, so
Or hold on, or the rental company's a part of it.
conspiracy.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like if you're,
No record.
I mean, if you go test drive a
you
car,
have to leave your license.
yeah. So, but that's, I don't know, different country. This was for sure like, it had to have been kind of embarrassing for the French.
Yeah, what a
right?
horrible.
Here's what you thought was a segue. That looks like a motorcycle.
Wait, turn your computer. It looks like a moped. That's a moped.
Okay, they go up to 100 miles per hour.
It's still a moped.
Okay, that's not a,
It's not a Segway. Not a Segway. It's still a moped, which makes me laugh because like how like not action movie.
Mm.
Do you
Well,
know what I mean?
but
Like,
you know what? Remember who else got away on a moped?
Who?
Or was it, maybe it was an e-bike? It was Mangione.
oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, but he was
Alle-
in by a McDonald's worker.
allegedly.
Not an ally.
We're not Team Mangione here to be. I mean, I'm not Team
I was.
Mangione here to be fair. You were Team Mangione after he killed a man?
Yeah, the whole time I was.
Interesting. Okay. I don't think you get to just go around and. I mean, I was skeptical if it was really him at first. Like, I didn't feel. I don't know if we have the
You
information.
don't even have proof that he did it.
Okay, well, we'll find out when the trial comes.
Yeah.
But if he did do it, he's not a hero, is what I'm saying, okay? People who are like, he's a hero because he took down the CEO, that's not fair.
It's done nothing. The insurance company still sucks. Anyways, neither here nor there. It's not action movie.
So,
These little mopeds are not like I wouldn't swoon if I saw a thief riding away on a nut. But maybe they wanted to be.
That looks kind of motorcycle-y to me.
It looks like a European moped. You know what I
Look
mean?
at this guy speeding down the street on his.
Hold on. Let me set the scene for our listeners. Do you guys remember in Eclipse when Edward Cullen buys a motorcycle so that he could like blend with Bella Swan because Bella has a motorcycle? The absolute ick factor. That was the only time in the entire Twilight series where Edward gave me the ick. This moped scooter bike is giving the same vibe as Edward Cullen.
Okay, well, definitely seemed to work to get the guys out of town, okay?
Yeah.
So,
And they had their faces, like, we don't know who they are.
we do, sort of, but jumping ahead.
Okay.
Okay. So,
I want to know where they went.
so there were 2 scooters carrying 4 people. And again,
Wait.
I called them scooters.
It was 2 guys on each bike.
Well, there were 4 people present. Someone
Weird.
was ready to race away.
They were riding bitch in the back. That's so funny.
So again, these bikes can go over 100 miles per hour. They escaped south toward the A6 highway, which is the main road that would lead them out of Paris. Initially, everyone again thought this was like an organized professional crime, like out of Ocean's 11 or something, because the entire event lasted less than 8 minutes. Like I
Yeah.
said, it seemed like they knew what they were doing, what they were going in for. Very efficient. But back to your question about like, did they target these exact jewels or did they just take what was available to them? There were more expensive jewels left behind. Again, they dropped that one that was like the most expensive one that they had in their hands. And then there were several other significant diamonds in the same room that were not targeted, including the Regent, which was valued at 51 million euros or 59 million US dollars.
Well, my question is, do you know the setup of the room? Like, did they just steal the jewels that were right next to the window?
They were not just right next to the window.
Oh, so they did walk.
But I mean, here's like this.
Because I'm thinking like maybe they just stole out of convenience.
No. See, there's things down here, and then they're like, shh, and they're at this random one in the middle.
Well, then my second question would be, did they just steal things that they had the tools to get into that case? Like maybe the other jewels.
So, I mean, these cases all look the same.
Okay.
So when these 2 people fled, like the 2 people come down on the people mover, whatever, the automated ladder.
Yeah, the people mover.
Which is like, it's in an airport. Wrong word.
Gosh.
Wrong word. And they attempted to set it on fire.
Wait. They tried to set the truck on fire?
Yes. To destroy all the evidence
Fire.
before they got away.
Bleach it.
But they were interrupted by a museum employee. They ended up leaving behind tools, including a glove, a helmet, a high-vis vest, a blowtorch, gasoline, blanket, and a walkie-talkie.
Oh no, a lot of that has DNA.
Yes. 189 pieces of evidence were collected by police, including 150 forensic samples.
Oh no.
The samples were analyzed and compared with the criminal database. So anyone, like people who've already committed crimes and have their DNA in the registry.
No.
And they got matches.
I was just going to say, I'm going to assume these are criminals.
Yes.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume these are already existing criminals.
They got matches with 3 people.
Oh God, I want to be the 4th guy.
The DNA that matched came from a scooter, a jewelry case, and the mover's truck. And then there was also DNA in the mover's truck from a 4th suspect, a female. I'm going to tell you about the suspects in a minute. But there's some thought that this DNA, she was like the significant other of one of the other people who was arrested. And they aren't sure. There's some thought that this could be like transfer DNA.
God,
like maybe she wasn't actually there or involved, but like.
How sexist of me. I didn't even think a woman would be involved. Because you know what? A woman wouldn't have left DNA.
Yeah, I think the women would have been a little more organized about it.
Yeah.
Also,
I would have gone for the prettier.
Isn't there an Ocean's 11 that is all women?
Shay's 8 is the woman.
Okay.
I love the Ocean's 11 series. So they got matches for 3 out of 4. And then you said there's a female match.
Yeah. But I think, they know there were 4 men, I think. So they still know that there was someone else, at least one person who was here is still out there.
Okay.
Unknown. But anyway, this all gives like the fact that they're like dropping things and leaving things and maybe not quite as organized as we all thought it was. And even with the 4 arrests, we still don't know where the stolen goods are.
Wait, they did arrest 4 people or 3?
They arrested 4.
Because they arrested.
But the one is the girlfriend. Yes.
Man.
Okay.
They left so much DNA. Like, guys.
Yeah. So let me tell you about
rubber gloves and a hairnet.
Or like, why were you flinging shit? I don't know. Okay.
Like you left your helmet?
Yeah.
Sloppy.
So we're going to talk about the suspects right now that we do know, because again, we don't know all of them. French law requires information regarding investigations be kept secret to avoid compromising police work, and only the prosecutor is allowed to speak publicly.
Ooh.
Which I will say with Garth Brooks, I was kind of like, he should have the right to his
Yes.
privacy until it's like clear.
So they won't even make an arrest until?
No, they will, but like they won't release names. So I really only know one of the names of these people
How did you know that?
because he's a social media star.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All of this for a bit.
As a result of these, like, French laws, we don't have a lot of information about like the names. We don't have mugshots. There were mugshots circulating online because everyone was like, look at these attractive men, right? And now we know, yeah, when they did reverse images, a lot of these came from old hot felon Tumblrs. Were you on Tumblr? I bet you were
I
on
was
Tumblr.
a big Tumblr girl.
Yeah. One of them is Chase Crawford from Gossip Girl.
Wait, the picture of those two guys?
Not those two guys. Another one that's circulating, and it's Chase Crawford.
Oh.
Like I think he has like a mugshot, and everyone's like, that's not the guy. That's Chase Crawford. So on October 25th, we had the first two arrests. Abdoulaye N is a 39-year-old man. He was arrested at his home in Aubervilliers, which is like a Parisian suburb. It sounds like some of these people, they're from like just like a lower income area outside of Paris.
Parisian is such a lovely word.
His DNA was found in one of the display cases and on items abandoned at the scene, so he is suspected of being one of the two men who actually entered the gallery. The reason we know his name is because he was actually a social media star who ran YouTube and TikTok channels under the alias Doudou Cross Batum.
Right.
He pretty much just did motocross and filmed himself performing tricks, but he was known to ride a Yamaha T-Max, which was the getaway vehicle.
No. Oh, he hit on every end. DNA at the scene, check. Motor vehicle, exit vehicle, check. Like, God damn.
He had previously been convicted in 2015 for a jewelry store robbery.
And he's 30.
Yeah. Convicted in 2014 with a 37-year-old who ends up being
The other.
another suspect. So, like, not only can we match your DNA here and we go into the crime database and we know who you are, but you guys know each other because you have committed other robberies together.
Oh my God, they're so stupid.
Yeah. So, again, it's on first glance, you're like, these guys are
Impressive. And then you're like, no, you are dumb boys.
Mhm.
Oh my God, they're already jewelry robbers.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So his criminal record also includes 15 offenses like possession and transportation of drugs, driving without a license, and causing danger to others. He was also scheduled to stand trial in early November for charges of breaking a mirror and damaging the door of the prison cell in 2019 when he was detained as part of a separate theft investigation, which he was later cleared of. So he was arrested for theft. They said, you didn't do the theft, but while you were in lockup, you caused so much damage that you are being charged with damage to property.
Oh my God.
So he had a court date, which they ended up having to postpone because now there's so much attention around this that there's lawyers like, you can't get a fair trial on this smaller charge. So he's still facing that. So he is now charged with criminal conspiracy and theft committed by an organized gang. He is being held in custody pending further investigation. He reportedly partially admitted to participating in the robbery. Well, he and the next guy each gave like a little partial confession. They both said they were hired by someone else, that there's someone higher than them. One of them said, I don't know who it is. And the other one said, oh, he's a foreigner. He also worked at Toys R Us. He worked as a museum guard, but not at the Louvre. And he told police he was currently working illegally as a taxi driver. So that's the first guy.
Oh my God.
The second man who is suspected of being in the actual museum, one of the two men who were part of this heist, was a 34-year-old Algerian national living in France since 2010. He was arrested on October 25th before boarding a flight to Algeria at the Paris Charles de Gaulle airport. He did not have a return ticket.
Oh, he was fleeing.
Yes. Also, though, I'm like, you didn't have to wait so long to flee. You could have fled sooner, sir. But
There's also like pretend and buy a return ticket.
yeah.
They're like flags in there.
Yeah. He is known to police for previous theft as well as several traffic offenses. He worked as a delivery driver and a garbage collector, but was unemployed at the time of his arrest. His DNA was found on one of the scooters used in the getaway. And again, he partially admitted to being involved, again, with this, like, there's someone else higher than us. There were 5 more suspects arrested on October 29th. Of these, 3 were released, and only one was thought to actually have physically been present at the scene of the crime, and that was a separate 37-year-old man who was charged with theft by an organized gang and criminal conspiracy. And this is the man who was in a previous robbery with Abdoulaye the 39-year-old.
So 2 are connected. The third
Mhm.
is just another criminal.
Yeah.
And then the fourth, we don't know who it is.
Right. So this 37-year-old man was believed to be part of the 4-man group that carried out the heist based on DNA found in the moving truck. He had a record of 11 criminal convictions for a range of offenses, including traffic-related offenses, aggravated theft, and an attempt to break into an automated teller machine.
Jesus.
He was previously arrested with Abdullah for theft. Again, his DNA was found in the truck and the lift, and he faces preliminary charges of theft by an organized gang and criminal
We know his
conspiracy.
name right now.
Mm-mm. And then there was a 38-year-old woman who was accused as an accomplice. So we don't think she's like the number 4. She just was also arrested. She's the girlfriend and baby mama to the 37-year-old's children.
Baby mama.
They have a couple children together. So there was trace DNA in the truck that matched her. But again, we don't know if this is transferred DNA. We don't know that she necessarily drove the truck, but did she know it was going to happen? So she's facing preliminary charges of complicity in theft by an organized gang and criminal conspiracy. But she and the 37-year-old have been adamant that they were not involved. Only the first 2 have said partially.
All their DNA was found.
But regardless, we have these 4 people, but we know the real brains behind this remains at large.
It's a foreigner. It's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
I bet they don't even know his name. Like, he calls in and is like, I want the crown.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm
does,
picturing.
Like, voice decoder.
I mean, we just watch a lot of movies. That sure sounds good, right?
Sounds legit to me.
So we have these 4 arrests. There's at least one, could be more involved.
That we probably have their DNA, but they're not a criminal. Like, they're not in the system.
Yeah, or if they're really the brains behind it, he's just like smarter than these guys. And the other sad part of this is that even though we have 3 people that we think could know what's up, we still don't know where the stolen goods are.
We don't know.
They're still missing. And the question then gets into what are they going to do with them? Because it can't just go pawn these, right? There has to be a more intense process going on. So Chief Executive of Art Recovery International, which is like a private company that specializes in finding looted art, said that if the jewels are not recovered in the first 48 hours, they are most likely broken up into smaller jewels and gems and sold in the marketplace.
How much art looting is there that there's people that's their career?
I'm so happy you asked because I'm going to tell you a couple stories in a second.
I'm shocked by that. I feel like this should be in the news more frequently.
It goes back to the episode I mentioned of High Potential. And there's a guy in it who's like the art recovery specialist. And he's like, I'm one of very few people who do this. I get called in and I save the art. But again, I guess if we're going to go into this kind of separate conversation about what are they doing with these jewels, the value, I keep quoting this value of $102 million US, but that's as they are, right? And that includes historical value. So if you just take these diamonds off, they're not going to be worth as much, right? And if you're just going to steal them and then why didn't you just go into a jewelry store and steal them?
Been nearly as cool.
Also, maybe security's better in a jewelry store, as we're going to learn.
Oh, I think the general population is like, oh my God, they broke into the Louvre, because we can't possibly ever envision somebody stealing from a museum.
Yeah.
Thus,
we have too much faith in the security of the museum.
But my other conspiracy is that, like you mentioned earlier, that the head of it all is a collector.
Yeah. That's still where I'm thinking, but we'll get to that. If this motive is not a specific collector who's I want the crown jewels, if these are just thieves who are we're going to get into the museum, I mean, you can't really cut up the Mona Lisa, right? The jewels are the much easier thing to do.
Yeah.
You can then disassemble them. But everyone says you either have a rich collector behind this heist who wanted these things and is keeping them secret, or you had a deal before this even happened. You're not going to go steal these and then take them home and be what do I do? You've already got a setup. They probably within an hour had already passed off these jewels to someone who has then disassembled them.
Yeah. There's a whole, I think these 4 people are just the front. There's a whole team.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
So there was a YouTube video by Hank Green, which we'll link to also.
Okay.
Do you?
Yeah. The Green brothers?
I don't know. He's got I don't even know who this guy is. I just found
You don't know John Green,
the author?
Hank Green's his brother.
Oh, he's a YouTube channel?
Well, he's YouTube. He does so many things.
He lives in Montana?
Yeah.
You know this guy?
Yes, it's Hank Green.
Okay. Oh no. But I found a YouTube video by him that we put in our references, and it was pretty interesting because he had
You stumbling across Hank Green and not knowing who Hank Green is. They're the Green brothers.
I mean, I know John Green writes sad, depressing teen
John
books.
is a YouTuber in addition to an author, and the
Yeah.
two of them would send videos, and Hank Green's a scientist, and he does so many things.
I mean, he sounded very smart. I enjoyed his video. I enjoyed his video.
That you don't know who he
I also didn't have a YouTube phase like you did, right?
There's a guy named Hank Green. He's not.
So anyway, he did a YouTube video and he had a friend who's like a penetration tester. And I'm
Right.
waiting to tell you that there is a position called penetration tester.
What does he penetrate?
I mean, it's more specifically,
It's a female?
she is a physical penetration tester,
She penetrates
which means her job is to go try to like break into buildings
Oh my god,
stuff
that's so funny.
to like test the security.
Professional penetrator. That's gonna be my next year Halloween costume.
She said, they did a lot of
It's
things
so
good,
funny.
like the way instead of just like coming up in all black and masked, they like dressed to be seen in plain sight with the security, right? They're like, this is,
Yeah.
he's like, this is a well-known trick. The real experts know that's what you do. You don't try to hide, you
No,
try to blend in.
You blend.
The way that it was so quick, she said that was perfect. And she said also 9 a.m. is my favorite time to break into any place because
it's opening.
everything's opening, people are entering. And she said, you also think that like,
Was she a previous criminal? And now
no, but there were a lot of people interviewed that was enjoyable, like on these different news clips and stuff, who were like, I was a professional art thief, and here's what I know.
I love that.
And most of them said, actually, I don't believe this is being disassembled. I think that this
It's a collector.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
At least like the small sample that I watched. She said also, security has a job to protect the artwork, and also protect the people, right? And so people are going to be valued over the work.
Right.
So if they come in and there's people and they're like clearing out, right? They know they have to like, it buys them a couple minutes, right? We know they have to like secure the people before they can come after us for the art.
Right.
So she said that was all done well. And she said, you also have to think about, okay, I don't know what else I said here. I had notes about her. She said
Professional
just made it harder for them to get to and then actually they think we're going to lock these criminals into the gallery because we're going to protect the people. But really, you just locked these people. It makes it harder for people to get to them who are trying to arrest them.
Right.
And they don't need to come out the door to get away, right? They're going to go out the way they came, through the hole in the window.
Right.
So she said they did do some pretty good things.
How did they know to pick that window?
We don't know, but we're going to talk about some of the theories behind that. Okay, so our conspiracy discussion. Here we go. Fun fact, you were asking about how much art
Heist is there?
yeah. I can't give you a specific statistics, but I can tell you a couple of stories. So this was not the first Louvre robbery. In 1911, the Mona Lisa was stolen
Oh, Mona Lisa.
for 2 years. When the staff realized the painting was gone, they initially assumed it had simply been taken down for photography. Once the truth settled in, the museum shut down, and this became an international investigation.
I'm sorry. How poor communication.
Yeah.
That they didn't even.
Well, it's 100 years later, and I feel like it's still not great communication.
I'm like, my God, who is the man?
So they're just walking by, and like, oh, the Mona Lisa's gone. Someone must be restoring it.
Like, no.
Yeah.
You think there would be like update for the week, Mona Lisa is being photographed.
Yeah.
In an email. Well, 1911.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have a staff meeting, you know?
Yeah.
Even Pablo Picasso was a suspect at one point.
Oh my God. Can we talk about how Pablo Picasso lived until the 1980s?
Yeah, we all talk about how that was
That's crazy.
that's one of the ones we're all confused. We think he's way older than he is. The guy who actually stole this,
Right.
they ended up finding it underneath the bed of Italian handyman Vincenzo Perugia.
That's exactly where I would put it too.
He had stolen the painting alone by hiding inside the museum overnight, and then he just walked out with it underneath his coat because he believed the painting belonged to Italy.
You know what? I'll give that to him.
When this happened, people believed that he could not have acted alone, that it had to have been an inside job by employees or foreign governments were behind the robbery for national prestige. Others theorized that a secret cabal of art collectors commissioned the theft, or that the French government staged the whole thing to distract from political scandals brewing at the time. But he's like adamant he worked alone. Also,
Kind of just sounds crazy.
I feel like if the government was helping him out, it wouldn't have been underneath his bed.
No, like I think it probably would have been like in a safe,
like, you
way
probably
from
would-
sunlight.
Yeah, he could have passed it off to someone who then,
tight.
yeah.
It wouldn't have been under his. He sounds like he was manic.
You think everyone's panic.
No, but like, come on, who's gonna steal the Mona Lisa?
Well, in 1976, 3 burglars made their way into Louvre's Apollo Gallery because there was scaffolding set up outside the museum at the exterior for maintenance, and so they just climbed the scaffolding. They broke through a window, overpowered 2 museum guards, and snatched the ceremonial sword of Charles X, a diamond-studded ornate weapon crafted for his 1824 coronation. The sword was never recovered, and the case remains unsolved.
Whoa.
Why was an unfamous artifact with enormous symbolic and material value stolen unless it was a commissioned theft for a private collector?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Also, this is weird because this is the same gallery that this heist last month happened in, the Apollo Gallery.
Oh my God, it's the same collector.
It's been 50 years, and these guys pretty much did the same thing. They came in through a window, they broke into a thing, and they stole jewels.
I believe it.
So you didn't
Maybe it's a family of collectors.
you didn't sit,
And this is the next generation.
but you didn't just sit down and think how can we make sure this doesn't happen again? So,
This feels very French.
so
They're weak.
ooh,
Am I wrong? French history?
No.
Feeling when they were strong or when they were cutting the heads off the kings?
theory one, it was a marketing stunt. And honestly, the thought for this, I think this was sort of initially when this first came out, the day of that this is all over social media, people were thinking that this was a publicity stunt for the movie Now You See Me 3,
Oh, I am looking forward to that movie.
which was releasing November 14th. So it will be out by the time
You're listening.
you're listening to this. The heist felt out of a movie, so this was a thought, but now we have DNA, they've arrested suspects, so probably not a marketing stunt.
But the movie should milk this.
But I did not even think about, who did you think? You thought it was marketing for the
museum.
oh yeah, because we said the Louvre,
You said
there's an increase in visitors now.
Nation,
Yeah.
We're now the most secure museum there ever was.
Also maybe for the company that had the lift.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. hold on.
Also maybe for that social media star, although he can't make a lot of social media on his bike in jail, so I don't know.
Like, you think they're getting life for this?
These guys all have over 10 previous.
Yeah, when they get out,
Is there a 3 strikes you're out rule in
how's it work in Europe?
Europe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I know we jail people more, right? So they probably are not as intense as we are with our.
But if when they are released, I think they're gonna be famous.
Okay. We haven't even seen their faces yet. Okay. Was this an inside job? So the theory is that these thieves had inside help, whether that was museum staff, security guards, or contractors.
There's the security camera.
Yeah, to know that if you go in here, there's no camera on you.
You know that window.
Yep. So did they provide knowledge of weaknesses, like which window or camera to exploit, alarm systems, etc.? There are 1,300 security guards at the Louvre. Security experts and commentators have cited how the heist was executed very rapidly and targeted specific items, suggesting prior knowledge. Given the logistical complexity, like the furniture lift used on the facades, the scooters, etc., it seems plausible that there could be some inside knowledge. We have no proof of that yet. The Louvre has 2,000 cameras. So how do they know where the blind spots were? How do they know what to target? So we could believe there's an insider.
Most definitely don't have the answer to this, but I question, does the Louvre keep track of visitor ID? You know how when you buy a ticket, it's associated to your name? How were any of these people arrested going to the museum prior?
I'm going to guess that they don't track that. I don't know that for a fact, but we theorize that for sure
They've been visiting.
and we'll get to that in a moment. There were some leaked audits, which I'll mention, but the Louvre, as I said earlier, was built in 1190 as a palace. There's an entire exhibit in the Louvre about the structure of the building.
Oh
So
my God.
these guys could have come in, could have taken the tour, and you pretty much have a blueprint
Of everything.
Why
would they do that?
So, did that help? They had multiple safety audits since 2021, and some of those had leaked to the press. The Louvre had identified security weaknesses and was actually in the process of security upgrades, which began in 2022. They are also set to invest €80 million into upgrading security with a focus on planned interventions, including the generalization of the video surveillance system along the entire perimeter of the complex, the complete renovation of the 5 control stations, the relocation of the central command post, and the integration of new dimensions related to cybersecurity. And there's going to be a second phase, which is going to have upgraded checkpoints. That's coming in 2026. So we knew that there were all these safety issues. You probably saw this on social media, that the Louvre security system password for its CCTV network.
This password
Almost.
in French.
It was almost. It was Louvre.
That they're asking for it. I'm surprised they've only had this many heists. That is ridiculous.
And then
You know what? at my work, my password is 20 letters long.
I know.
And I have to change it every 3 months.
I work for a university, and to log on to my email, it's like 4-step authentication.
This is ridiculous. Come on,
Yeah, and every time I'm like, I can't even check my email. Like, this is harder than accessing your bank account. But the Louvre is just like security code, Louvre.
There's an R? I'd have known that. They're stupid. I'm sorry. This is their fault.
So this expert that
This is so French.
So this expert that my new friend Hank Green interviewed was like, they made such a big deal about the security upgrade. So this could have alerted like the public that there's weaknesses.
Right.
And then also be like, if we're going to do this, we got to do it now, because by 2026, security's going to be ramped up.
Right.
So like this, if we're going to do this, this is our time.
They should have made the announcement after already making the changes
Yeah.
and like kept it on the
Well, I think it just sounds like it was supposed to sort of be in the deal, but they kept having these leaks. And so it's possible that maybe it wasn't an inside job and all of this information was just available.
This is insane.
The expert that Hank Green interviewed also pointed out that, like, when you think about the risks that you're facing in a museum, right, there's like risk of theft. There's also risk of like loss due to fire or natural disaster. And honestly, the risk of fire or natural disaster is higher than the risk of theft.
Right.
So when we think like these display cases are like impenetrable, that's not usually the case, because they like the police have to be able to come in and like break these cases and rescue whatever they can in the event of like an emergency.
I'm just thinking of National Treasure with like the laser light protection, like
Yeah, well, I don't think that National Treasure was like true to life.
come on.
She said security, when they're trained, they're really focused on things that are low impact but high likelihood. So security guards are really better trained at having to deal with like drunk people or homeless people or people who are trying to like graffiti. But we've definitely heard stories of people going in and like throwing paint on things.
Sure, that makes sense. But I also feel like they should have an annual review on how not to have art stolen.
I mean, what job does not have mandatory annual training?
Right.
Some of these things, it's not all that surprising about the level of security, but there were definitely a lot of holes.
Right.
She said the scooter was also genius. Witnesses said that she also said of the two men in the gallery, they seemed to have very different skill levels. One seemed to cut very easily. The other was kind of like hacking and hammering away. And she said when you watch them, like the full videos and like getting on the ladder, coming off, which we sort of saw, that they looked like they were going to like fall off or something.
Yeah.
They didn't exactly look like
Practice.
experts.
Yeah.
So that's it. So what do you think there was insider knowledge, insider assistance or not?
No, I think the Louvre just sucks. That's what I'm getting from now after hearing everything.
How embarrassing.
Like their password was Louvre
with an R.
with an R.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
Again, what the motive was as far as that conspiracy theory goes. So was there foreign state or organized crime involvement? So the heist could have either been commissioned or facilitated by an organized crime network or a foreign state because of the high value and the knowledge required. The heist targeted high heritage jewels. So those, again, things like the Napoleon era. So things that are more valuable because of their historical history than because like what the actual value is of the stones. So then the question is like, was this like a vanity like for a collector? That was the motive, or like, because it seems unlikely it would just be like simple street theft. This seems like, again, a very odd target if you're just going to go sell these jewels on the black market and
yeah,
whatever.
I'm with you.
So then I think the question is kind of what I've been hitting from the beginning. What I think is that like these suspects may have been involved, but I think they were just like the boots on the ground guys, not the brains. So I think there is someone who was the brains behind all of this. Did they contract to organized crime? So was this like organized crime was behind this? And they just were like, we know 4 petty criminals who have robbed jewelry stores before, and they'll be our men, and we'll give them a small percentage.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
Because I'm also thinking these men are people who can follow instruction but don't have the ability to critically think.
Yeah.
And so I think they could have been swindled for like.
I mean, it seems like this is probably who you want. If they get arrested, you want them to be so terrified that they aren't gonna
Yes,
like
not gonna
like I don't want the mob after me if I
think they have no idea about the identity of who's leading it. Like I think it's been.
I think you might be right. I think they might not know who it is, and I think that what information they do have, they'd probably be way too terrified to share if it's someone who's in power.
I'm also like, we have so much online activity. Could they not have tracked like emails or communicate? It must be all on paper.
There was like an ABC special where someone said the fact that there's not been a reward offered,
Makes me
which we'll talk about,
they're about to win.
that they probably know more than we know, and they're probably on the tracks. But I don't know. Also, I would say though, if this was organized crime, couldn't they have also there were probably
Probably
better
government.
well, there are probably better criminals out there who wouldn't have left their DNA. Like, this is the best you could find, were these like couple of
Yeah. Or we're all being like this is just a red herring. Like something else is happening.
That's very conspiracy theorist of you.
Yeah.
Don't look here, look over here.
Yeah. Like maybe someone else is gonna.
So whether or not you believe this is like foreign state or organized crime, again, why would they do it? So the first theory that I think we are now leading towards is like this collector theory. And again, nobody would have committed this heist without a buyer already lined up. All the experts agree with that. All of the previous like art thieves that have been interviewed have said, you're not going to like steal this and then like sit with it in your apartment and try to figure out what to do with it.
Right.
Okay. Was there an ideological motive? So were the perpetrators making a statement about like colonial legacy and power and cultural appropriation? Critics point out that many European museums hold items linked to colonial acquisition or plunder, like the artwork stolen by the Nazis. The Louvre is a global symbol of Western art heritage and French national heritage. So maybe this was just like a really prominent target that had like some symbolic weight. And so the robbery was really an assault on like the perceived cultural dominance, the national pride. I mean, they are humiliated right now. France is humiliated.
Yeah.
The Louvre is humiliated.
I mean, like how embarrassing.
Yeah.
Password was Louvre.
Yeah. And again, we know that our Italian gentleman in the past did a similar thing for ideologic purposes because he didn't believe that the French should own this piece of Italian work.
Right.
There's also a theory that takes you back to the Titanic, that this could all be an insurance scam. The displayed crown jewels could have been replicas or less valuable stand-ins, and the theft was a ruse to claim large insurance or government funding. This is also happening right now with the Real Housewives of Potomac.
Oh my God.
Okay. So they bought jewelry and then
That's ridiculous.
claimed it put it on their insurance, right?
Right.
Then they returned it. Then they staged a break-in. And so then they claimed like 500, that was like 400 and something. It was the max loss.
The insurance company's gonna check the store.
Like $500,000. That's why they're under arrest now. $500,000. They claimed $500,000 in like loss. But then it turns out they didn't even have the jewels that they were insured.
God, they sound so stupid.
All a scam.
Marylanders.
But I think, yeah, because then also I think part of why people think this though, like the Redditors are like, there's no way that the Louvre would just have like the real items out there for us all to see. Like for sure we're looking at replicas. But I think that's again giving them too much.
I don't think
credit.
so. I think they want to be like, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Look at the real Mona Lisa. We have the real Mona Lisa. So it's like, I think they would put the real stuff out. Also, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think they're smart enough for that. And I don't think they have the time to make that many recreations. These weren't even the coolest jewels in the museum.
No, and why would you then have to? So you're going to say, oh, we need to claim this so that we can get the money. But then like, and then again, so they still have the real ones, but like you can never display the real ones. You can never
do anything.
It doesn't feel like it makes any sense to me.
No.
Yeah. And then
I bet they're gonna milk it and like leave empty spaces for it.
Milk it?
Yeah, like another.
Okay.
And they're gonna like leave empty spaces for this stolen jewelry and be like, and everybody's gonna want to go in that room. Like if I ever go to Paris, which I won't because of bed bugs, I'm going in that room in the Louvre.
You're gonna go to the Apollo Gallery?
Yeah. And I'll be like, look at the window. I'm not even gonna look at the jewelry. I'm gonna be more interested in which window frame they came through.
And then finally, the last theory would be that this is not a conspiracy at all, beyond the fact that it was like 4 people working together. And the heist was just carried out by a small but opportunistic criminal group exploiting real security flaws with no larger plot. Because again, only the lead prosecutor is allowed to speak to the public about the case. And so she says that the suspects were locals. They're known for theft offenses, but they're not like big time foreign operatives. And also, interesting fact I learned about this is that, did you know certified diamonds are serialized with a unique serial number that is laser inscribed, and you have to use like this crazy magnifier to look at the diamond and like find the serial number?
Every diamond or just like
any certified diamond.
Okay.
So
But these are really old. Were they?
Well, so they're not exactly. That's the point.
Yeah.
So they're saying the number, so that number serves as an identifier and it links the diamond to its grading report for authenticity and it helps prevent fraud. And so if you were like, well, I can't go into a jewelry store because those are all certified and they'll be tracked, maybe
I must steal vintage jewelry
that doesn't have a serial number. And then you remove it, you sell it on the black market, somebody certifies it for authenticity, engraves it with a number, and now it's just out there. And then you know what? Someone goes to buy you an engagement ring and you're rocking a diamond from the crown jewels, but
My God.
you have no idea.
Oh my God. I want that to happen to me. Oh my God.
But you'll never know.
This should be a movie. This should be a movie. Oh my God. My dream. Oh my God.
And there was also a jewelry thief that said that he knows people who have actually robbed museums and then waited for a reward to be offered of a few $1,000,000. And they'll say like, no questions asked. We just want this back. We'll give you $500,000. Or a government might say that.
They say that, but you can't trust them.
I think I find that harder to believe is the motive because you'd have to really be like, you'd have to be sneaky enough to get away with this. You'd have to hold on to it for years. Then you'd have to trust that you're somehow going to return this and get paid without leaking your identity.
Yeah, no way.
That feels like a stretch.
No way.
So we're still on organized crime. You agree? We still think collector?
Yeah, I think collector. I wonder if it's like a Napoleon ancestor.
Well, or even more so, apparently, Napoleon stole these. Who did Napoleon steal from? Were they an ancestor of who did Napoleon loot from? Hold on.
I'll tell you what, whoever it is a small man.
We talked about this before that Napoleon's not actually as small as we think.
He is small.
We looked this up before.
Well, how big?
Or was it like somewhat like someone from Egypt or something where, because Napoleon was known to loot art and treasures from all these conquered territories. He went to Italy, he went to Spain, he went to Egypt. So is this someone who is like, I think more likely that a Napoleon descendant is like some guy who's like in Egypt who's like, that belonged to my family. Whoa. And you stole the jewels.
Well, I hope, I either hope it's never solved and it becomes a movie, or it is solved and we get a really good documentary out of it.
Well, to be clear, okay, Napoleon was 5'7", was as we talked about.
Pretty small.
Which is, yeah, except that was then. Like that's 5'7" is like short normal now.
But they all made fun of him for being small, so it must have been small then.
It says he was the average height of a Frenchman of this era. The idea that he was unusually short is largely due to a British propaganda and his tendency to be surrounded by his tall imperial guard, which made him look short in comparison.
That is the only good thing Britain ever did.
That is what AI tells me.
Yeah.
And do you think we're going to find the jewels?
No.
No.
Or we will in 30 years, and you and I will meet up again and record.
Let's record another podcast.
Yeah, part 2.
You'll be dead by then, though, because you're a DNR.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't mean do not treat.
Okay.
Just do not cure.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone's like, there's definitely going to be, give this 6 months. There's going to be like a Netflix movie about this.
Oh.
Give it another year. There's going to be a documentary.
Yeah.
Things are coming.
I love hearing people speak.
But you'll say, I heard this first on 3 Scheme Queens podcast.
Yeah. And we have no affiliation with the heist, obviously, for now.
I mean, if Colleen did this heist, she would be scooting away on Segways. So,
and I can't keep a secret. So
10 miles per hour on the Segway.
Guys, just a reminder, don't forget to check out our Facebook and Instagram pages at 3 Scheme Queens. That's the number 3, Scheme Queens, all one word. We're also on Reddit, same username. If you want to check out our website, go to 3schemequeens.com and you can find links to our social media accounts, our Buzzsprout page, all of our episodes, additional content, and our contact page where you can engage with us and share any updates on the topics that we have discussed. Let us know how we're doing and what you want to hear next. There are also opportunities to financially support us with links to buy us a cup of coffee and links to our merch store. As always, if you choose not to financially support us, we appreciate the follows, the downloads, the listens, the likes.
Take it over for Kate then. What should the people do?
You should pause and send this podcast episode, to 3 people that enjoy art. Or if you have a friend whose name is Art.
Okay.
Haven't met a man named Art in a while. Or Arthur. So that's what you're gonna do with your text messages. And then, while your phone's still up, scroll down and leave us a 5-star review, a comment. Then you might want to go on to Instagram, because your phone's already up in your hands, and you're going to go to our Instagram and you're going to follow us and you're going to interact with us.
And next week, the three Scheme Queens will be back together. We're going to have a little birthday party. It's our cotton anniversary, I've been told.
It's our second birthday.
So join us next week and we will see you next Tuesday.
Entering our terrible twos era.